How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 7. It has been a little bit since I last recorded, so I'm a little rusty on what's happening here. We know that Takano is our antagonist, and everybody thinks that Takano and Toмотake are dead. I mean, Toмотake is absolutely dead. We know this for a fact. It's Takano that killed him, pretty much. Takano is our the person that we need to realize, or everybody else here needs to realize, is actually pulling the strings, or is at least working with those that are pulling the strings here and are setting up for Rika's death most likely, as well as everybody else's. So that's kind of where we sit. And the reason why I haven't recorded this recently is because I've been running into some computer issues seemingly for the entirety of this chapter, coincidentally, and I've been trying to remedy them. I even ran into the issue that I've been experiencing as I was setting up to record this episode. I don't know what the issue is, but I'm starting to think it might be related to OBS, so at least that's, narrowing it down, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to ramble too much on what my issues are, but I have been struggling, and I have been avoiding recording this because I didn't want issues to arise in this playthrough. But if they do, they do. There's nothing I can do about it. I've been trying to do everything I can. When I woke up, the first things I saw were Sotoko and the calendar. The first one to wake up is supposed to tear yesterday's date off the calendar. Sometimes we both tear the calendar by mistake, so the date ends up 2 days ahead. Sotoko likes to tear the calendar, and that makes her wake up early every morning. That would usually make me smile, but I felt devastated as soon as I saw the 22 on the calendar. It's going to happen today. June 22nd, or 22nd, yeah. Sorry, I'm being stupid. The day I would die. I don't know why I was trying to... I was thinking I was reading that wrong. I apologize. Where is my mind?
おはようございますですわよ、リカ。二人ともおはようです。二人？あらあら、まだ寝ぼけてるでございますの？さとこの他にも、この部屋に住んでいる人がいますのですよ。
That is true.
その人にも、おはようを言いましたのです。もう、朝から怖がらせるのはなしでございますわよ。これでさとこは、今晩怖くて僕の手を握ってないと寝られないのです。
Sometimes I feel like Sotoko can see Hanyu, and it's as if the three of us are living together. That would be a lot of fun. It was time to go to school, but my body felt heavy. Today, I was going to die. Knowing that, I didn't even feel like going to school. The more I've repeated the same life, the more precisely I can detect my day of death. I always die on the day I feel this way.
リカ、そろそろ学校に行きますわよ。僕は、今日はお休みしますです。リカ、ケイイチさんに聞きましたけど、何か悩み事があるって本当なんですの？あると言えばあるし、ないと言えばないです。
What else is there left to do? Today is the day. It's too late now. But part of me still feels like doing something. I've been in this world only a few days. My emotions went up and down like a roller coaster. Sometimes I felt motivated to fight, and other times I felt desperate and gave up. Even though Keiichi and everyone else showed me such strength, I lacked the iron will to fight against my fate. Sorry. I know people sometimes say iron, but I don't know. That didn't sound right. Sometimes I say iron. Sometimes I say iron. What do you guys say? The most confidence I ever felt was when the dice all came up 6. A fortunate coincidence that was just handed to me. I was hoping to gain the courage to fight against my fate. But here I am today, conceding to my destiny. Keiichi told me that we can make a miracle happen if we work together, but there was something he didn't teach me. He didn't teach me how to believe in that. If I don't believe that I can make a miracle happen, I won't be able to make even a crack in the wall of fate. It seems so simple, yet it's so difficult. I couldn't even decide whether I should be on the stage or stay off of it and remain as a spectator. I told Hanyu that I haven't decided what to do after this world is over, but that's the spectator's point of view. For the people on the stage, this world is the only one. For them, the end of the world means the end of their lives. And that's why they do anything to change their fate. That's why they can make a miracle happen. I never worked hard enough because I always knew that I could reset my life. I thought I was just one pathetic girl who couldn't change her own fate. And that's why I ended up here again today. It's as if I slacked off on my summer homework and woke up on the last day of vacation with nothing completed. What should I do? Should I not work on my assignment knowing that I'm not going to make it on time anyway? Or should I do whatever I can even though I may still get in big trouble? Perhaps a miracle will happen, and perhaps the miracle or the homework will be done overnight. That is a miracle. And miracles don't happen to homework. I have to do the homework on my own. Without effort, nothing will ever get done. Without effort, not even one question will be solved.
リカの好きなように過ごすといいと思いますのです。リカの大好きな窓際で甘いワインを飲むのもリカらしい過ごし方だと思いますのです。
どうせ怒られるなら最後の一日も気ままに過ごそうという開き直りね。
For Hanyu, it's not about the homework. It's about the vacation itself. The vacation will be over no matter how much I want it to continue. And in her eyes, it's pathetic for me to make a big deal out of not completing my homework and contemplating whether I should still work on it or not. On top of that, I'm saying that I might as well die if my vacation is going to be over. If I was in her situation, I'd be laughing hysterically. Keiichi told me to seek everyone's help in order to finish my homework. But I'm not taking that offer, not only because I don't want to cause them trouble, but also because I don't want the teacher to know that I got help from them. If I was going to have regrets, I should have worked on it from the beginning. If I had no intention of working on it, I should have just relaxed without stressing so much. If I didn't care what other people thought, I should have asked for their help in the first place. Those are the three options I talked about with Hanyu yesterday. I didn't choose any of them. I've been living for over 100 years, but I still can't decide. My 100 years were wasted.
さとこ、僕は今日風邪をひいてしまったのでお休みしますです。そうなんですの？体温計でお熱を測ります？今日はゆっくりさせてくださいです。知恵には僕は風邪で休むと伝えてほしいのですよ。リカ、本当に風邪なんですの？なんだか命を狙われてるような話をしているって圭一さんが言ってて、私本当に心配してますのよ。ありがとうです。もう行かないと遅刻しますですよ。
Sadako looked at the clock and then looked back at me again.
私は今すごく幸せですのよ。みんなと楽しく過ごせて、またリカと一緒に暮らせるようになってとても嬉しいんですの。だからリカがいなくなったら私がどれだけ悲しい世界に生き続けなくちゃならないかよく考えてほしいでございますのよ。僕のいない世界。ええ、リカのいない世界なんてとても辛くて悲しい世界ですわ。
I've never thought about that. I thought that the world ended when I died. I've never thought about the world after my death. That was never my concern.
だからどうか自分をリカが思ってる以上に大事にしてほしいんですの。
Yeah, that is something to consider is like, what does happen? Is it kind of like Steins Gate where these are like different timelines that coincide with one another? I mean, that would kind of explain why people are able to remember or misremember events that have happened in other timelines. But I don't know. It can get a little confusing thinking about all that.
リカ一人の不幸じゃない。リカに悲しいことがあれば、私もそしてみんなも不幸になることを決して忘れないでくださいますですのよ。さとこ。 リカ、今日はそっとしておきますけど、悩みがあるなら絶対に相談するんですのよ。仲間が悩んでいるのに自分を頼ってくれないこともまた悲しいんですから。
Sadako seemed like she wanted to say more, but she looked at the floor instead. I know what she's trying to say. I realize how selfishly I've been living. It was wrong for me to look at this world as a stage play. But it's too late. It's too late now. Sadako left the house in a hurry. Hanyu and I were left alone inside the house.
僕もお邪魔でしょうから、リカが呼ぶまで消えていますのです。
気が利くのね。
100年生きても、リカはリカです。100歳の仙人にはなれないのです。リカには、年相応に悩んで考える時間があってもいいと思います。僕がリカに背伸びを敷いたこともあるかもしれませんのです。
羽生は悪くないわ。私が勝手に天狗になってただけよ。
僕とおしゃべりしたいときは呼んでくださいです。
もう泣きつかないの？私がこの世界で終わりにするのを撤回してほしいって。
リカは頑固な人ですから。
Well, stubborn for a lot of good reasons here.
言えば言うほど逆効果になりますのです。
さすが。付き合いが長いだけのことはあるわね。
もうリカも悟っているようですから言います。今日です。悔いのない一日を。リカが何をしてもしなくても、朝が来て夏休みが終わるように、この世界も終わります。でも、リカが望めば次の朝も訪れる。そして、それはまたしても今年の6月かもしれないけれど、朝は朝。
もっと小さい頃、毎日が退屈で、毎朝、起きても同じ日が繰り返されてるんじゃないかって思ったことがある。それが本当になるだけのことだしね。
今日を有意義に生きてくださいとだけ言いますのです。これ以上は僕は何も言いませんのです。
多分今日だろうと思っていたけど、あんたにはっきりと言われると答えるわね。やっぱり終わるのね。今回も。
はい、今回も終わりますのです。いつもと同じように。
Or is it? Like, come on, like, we're following these two, especially Rika, so persistently. Watching them go through all this shit. This has to be the one where it all works out, right? Like, that's all that makes, like, real, genuine sense, unless whatever goes on in Chapter 8 is the real ending, but I don't know. I don't know what's to come. Hanyu disappeared, and it went completely quiet inside the house. How should I spend my day? How should I end this day? Should I work on my homework, knowing that I'm not going to make it on time? I only have half a day left. I have to do my best. I should think about what I can do. This world is supposed to be a happy place. People are enjoying their lives. I should have enjoyed my life more too. I don't mean in that I should have lived my life in blind optimism. It means that I should have enjoyed my life by fully experiencing both happiness and sadness. If I did that, I wouldn't be as worried about what to do after my death. I should have simply lived with all my might. When the time comes, it'll be over.
今日を生きる。
Yes. That's a very important phrase. But it sounds meaningless when I say it because I can repeat this meaningless life as many times as I wish. Well, to a point. You know, something's been kind of like I was casually thinking about this. So Hanyu can like wander off and like check on other people and this and that in the village, right? I don't know if there's like a distance limitation from Rika or if, you know, if it is just like the entirety of the village, but couldn't she have just followed Tomatake and Takano? Because they were still in the village, and she could have seen everything that was happening there, right? And then just reported back. I don't really know what Hanyu's limitations are. Hanyu is interesting regardless. While Sudoko was at school, I washed the dishes. Hanyu would usually stay with me when Sudoko wasn't around. But she's not here right now. It's been a while since I was all by myself. I never thought anyone could feel so lonely while washing the dishes. I'm going to die today anyway. This world is ending today. Why should I wash these dishes? That's because I'm thinking about Sudoko, who will have to move on with her life after tomorrow. I will encounter a new Sudoko in the next world. But I realized something after hearing what Sudoko told me earlier. After I'm dead, I wonder how Sudoko will move on with her life. The worlds that I've left in the past all went on without me. I wonder if Sudoko will be able to cook without me. I wonder if she can go shopping on her own. I wonder if she can wash her clothes all by herself. I've been avoiding thinking about this, but Sudoko and my other friends must have been overcome by sadness. It's too late for me to think about this, but I started feeling like I wanted to cry. I'm feeling like this because I don't want to leave this world. Yeah, that's another thing. The world's not actually going to continue, or at least the village won't. The world will, and we've actually seen that, like, for example, with epilogues that we've gotten. Once Rika is dead, the world technically does continue. We've seen that through the eyes of Ueshi and what's-his-face that is never here for us, even so he's, like, literally in this story. We've seen this, I don't know, with Keiichi even, whenever he went batshit insane. Well, in Chapter 3, when everyone thought he went batshit insane. Which, you know, based on what we found out here, yeah, kinda. This is the world that I've always wanted. It's my hope that I can continue to live in this world beyond June 1983. After a long journey, I finally ended up in this world. But I was able to truly live in this ideal world for only one night. The night of Watanagashi. This world will be shattered again after I die tonight. Excuse me, we finally saved Sudoko, and all our friends assume that our happy life has returned. However, I'm going to die. Tonight. They will mourn for me. We worked so hard to make a miracle happen, but they're going to lose their happy world in just one day. Am I going to start a new life in the next world as if nothing happened? I'd lived 3 days in my new world, but 3 sad days were going to pass in this world. That's no good. I can't think straight anymore. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing from my eyes. I hugged Sudoko's pillow and cried. I could smell her scent. After I die, Sudoko will probably hug my pillow and cry just like this. Is everyone else going to cry for me too? I'm sure they will. And they'll be sad. Not about my death. They'll be sad not because I'm dead, but because I never told them about what was troubling me so much. I wonder if they're going to feel regret. Will they wonder what they could have done to open up my heart? What they could have done to help me in my time of trouble? Will they wonder what they could have done to save me? I felt miserable and frustrated. I held Sudoko's pillow and continued to cry. And the next moment, I heard the phone ringing. I tried to ignore it, but it wouldn't stop ringing. I picked up the phone, hoping that my friends would call to check on me. However, I heard a weird guy's voice coming from the receiver.
どうも、おこのぎ造園と申しますが、古出さんのお宅でいらっしゃいますか?
The gardeners.
おこのぎ
It was Okanogi from the Mountain Dogs. Oh. Were the gardeners back in Chapter 6 actually the Mountain Dogs? It was the first time I'd receive a phone call from him.
緊急のご連絡がしたくってお電話させてもらいました。学校にお電話したら、今日は休んだと言われましたもので、具合は大丈夫ですかいね?
I'm not alright. This is the day I die. I knew he had no idea, but I still couldn't help but feel upset.
風邪なのです。ちょっと今日はゆっくりしていますです。
そうですか。偶然とはいえ、それは好都合だったですね。
Fortunate coincidence, huh?
え、
I had no idea what made him say that he was glad I was sick.
どうして僕が風邪をひくと、おこのぎの好都合になるのですか？
いえ、実はあなたの命が狙われている可能性があるっちゅう連絡が入ってきたんです。
Oh, yeah?
それはどういうことなのですか？
この度の富武氏たちの事件なんですが、東京の調査の結果、入江所長が黒幕である可能性が高いっちゅう連絡が入ってきました。
入江が黒幕？
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard something like this, and it's complete bullshit. Like, they're totally twisting the story. Irie is not responsible, and therefore, these guys are actually the ones that are going to kill Rika. There's nobody else that you could actually state is going to kill her. This isn't something that happens at random. It's the very first time. That means it's not just a coincidence. I'm hearing this now because of something that I did differently in this world. I've done many things differently in this world, though. I can't tell which decision led me to this result. However, maybe this is something that could change my life drastically. Okanogi continued to explain to me. There had been budget cuts to their research, and they were scheduled to be shut down within a few years. Irie was strongly against that because he was embezzling their research money by requesting bigger and bigger budgets. Because they were going to cancel their research, he tried to sell the research data and make a lot of money off of it.
それは本当なのですか？
信じたくないでしょうが、事実ですね。まあ、入江所長はどこか後ろめたそうなところがありましたんよ。
I think I can say with certainty.
感じでした。
You done? I think I can say with certainty that Irie is not that type of person. I've been around him for years, and as far as I know, he's not a bad guy. He doesn't even have the guts to be one. He pretends to be cold-hearted for the sake of his research, but he can't shake his regrets. He's simply a nice person. It's hard to believe that he was embezzling money from Tokyo. I'm starting to be suspicious of Takano, but she's actually a nice person too. She seemed mean at times, but she could also act as innocent as a child. However, I'm starting to suspect her because Ueshi told me that the body they found in Gifu might not be Takano's body. Okanogi works for Takano. That means I can't trust Okanogi. In other words, I can trust Irie because Okanogi is clearly just trying to set him up. On the other hand, if Takano isn't guilty, I could be making a huge mistake. Yeah, you're really swinging it in that direction. Yet, it always seemed to me as though Tomitake and Irie were good friends. If Tokyo had suspected that Irie was embezzling money from them, Tokyo would have threatened him, or treated him far more coldly. It maybe threatened him, I don't know. Anyway, at the very least, Tomitake of Tokyo didn't have such a bad impression of Irie. The Irie of the Irie Institute and Tomitake of Tokyo were good friends. Tomitake of Tokyo and Takano of Tokyo were good friends. Takano of Tokyo and Okanogi of Tokyo were superior and subordinate. But Okanogi of Tokyo says that Tokyo is suspicious of Irie. This doesn't make sense. Everyone seems to be good friends at first glance, but the links don't connect from start to finish. Irie thinks he has a positive relationship with Tokyo, but Tokyo is suspicious of Irie? That's just odd. The chain should be connected, but one of the links is twisted out of order. It's breaking the loop.
すでに東京が内定に着手してますんで、また、入江はあなたを何らかの交渉の最後の切り札に使おうとしている可能性があるらしく、あなたに対する警護体制を本日よりさらに強化せよとの命令が来ました。
Yeah, that means more than likely we're gonna die. Like, if we try to also tell our friends about what's going on, they're gonna die too.
それでご自宅にいられるんは都合がいいと言ったんですね。すでに古出神社の周辺は山犬が3交代、20人体制で警護に入らせていただきました。
Well, that's scary to think about. If you think of them as like guards, like, all right, you know, feeling pretty safe, but we know that they're not there to do that. So it's, yeah, it's a little, I don't know, it's not a great feeling.
もちろんご安心ください。それっちゃわからないように気を利かせてますんで。
すごい警護体制なのです。その警護はいつまで続くのですか？
東京から解除の命令が来るまでずっとですんで。今回の一件が解決するまでです。
And that should have been good news for me, since today was the day I was supposed to die. This is exactly the kind of security I wanted. This is why I let Takano into the ritual storehouse. However, I have a bad feeling about this. Tokyo should be my ally. But that arrangement is just like Idie's relationship with Tokyo. Everything seems in order from my end, but when you trace it the other way, it feels like something's off at some point. I have this uncomfortable feeling because I have a few uncertainties about Tokyo. Tokyo and Idie have strong ties, but they're suspicious of him? Is Idie actually a bad guy? Is Takano still alive, and is she the one who killed Toмотake? Those questions and more made me uncertain about accepting help from Tokyo. I thought Tokyo, as a single organization, would move with a single intention. But in reality, they have multiple different intentions. In other words, there must be multiple. What's the word? I see it in the political section of newspapers all the time. Ah, right, factions. Are there two factions in Tokyo? One that wants to remain friendly with Idie, and one that looks down on him? That would explain the irregularities I'm sensing, excuse me. Maybe I've been talking to Ushi too much? If he hadn't told me that he was suspicious of Takano, would I have believed Okanogi without a doubt? Well, maybe not. Even without Ushi's theory, Okanogi still sounded very suspicious. Idie was loyal to his research on Hinamizawa syndrome. Tokyo understood this, so his relationship with Toмотake wasn't particularly strained. Plus, Idie isn't the type of person who would commit embezzlement. He's a law-abiding citizen with a good moral character. Of course, he has some ambition as a researcher, but that only goes as far as common sense expects any researcher to. It's nothing like the criminal aspirations that would lead to major embezzlement. A great number of the mountain dogs were going to be guarding me, and this is what I've been wanting in my previous lives. But, for some reason, I couldn't be happy about it. I couldn't help but feel depressed. If this house is like an empty birdcage, then they'd be the fox with feathers stuck to its face. I don't know if I can really trust the people who are protecting me. I tried to recall more about Okanogi. The mountain dogs have been protecting me for years. Okanogi proved his skills in many of my other lives. To them, I'm something of a special existence. If something happens to me, it would be a disaster. The Idie Institute is there to keep Hinamizawa syndrome under control, and the mountain dogs are there to protect me from evildoers. So why would they try to betray me now? I thought about it for a while, but I had no idea. I just know one thing for sure. I can't feel comfortable with the protection of the mountain dogs alone. I want someone other than Tokyo protecting me. But I bet such a person wouldn't believe me. Wait. What about Ushi? I've been keeping in touch with Ushi since the other day. He still thinks that the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa are all plotted by the village authorities. If he believes that, then he might believe that my life is in danger. For him, I'm a special person with lots of useful information. The mountain dogs hate the police, though. When I asked them to assassinate Sotoko's uncle, they refused because he was being watched by the police. I would feel relieved if the police were guarding me along with the mountain dogs. That way, the dogs wouldn't be able to harm me, even if they were working for an evil faction of Tokyo. Besides that, if my suspicions toward them turned out to be baseless, more protection couldn't hurt. Yeah, honestly, it's not really a risk. I mean, trying to get Ushi to do it is the problem. But other than that, I mean, it should all be totally fine. There's really no risk here, only a reward. A possibility of an even bigger reward, to be completely honest, and more information. I'm sure that double security will keep me safe.
わかりましたです。 今日はおとなしくしていますです。
ええ、そうなさってくださるとうちらも助かりますんで。町へ繰り出して変なチンピラに喧嘩でも売られるとうちらも苦労しますん。
根に持たれているのです。
では風お大事になさってください。
風の診察に診療所に行ってはいけませんですか？
万が一ということがありますんで、入江診療所には当分近寄らないでください。妙な注射でも打たれやすと大変ですかいね。
入江はそんなことしないです。
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん、安城ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。
すったらんしゃもないのです。
おこのぎもいつの間にかすっかり地元言葉になりましたです。
I think they fucked up his voice line there.
最初は普通の東京なまりだったです。
It's like he snuck up right behind us.
直せと言われれば直せるつもりですがね。地域に溶け込むのが仕事ですから。
I finished speaking with him. As soon as I hung up the phone, I opened my phone book and looked for the number to the Okonomiya Police Department. Oh, here we go. It was nearly noon. It felt like the pages of the phone book were sticking to my skin. I must have been in a hurry. I really don't want to die. I want to stay in this world. I don't want to leave this perfect world. I'm trying to do something because I don't want to die. I'm trying to live with all my might. I'm trying to enjoy my life. For the first time, I was spending my last day positively, without drinking wine until I was drunk.
もしもし、大石です。お待たせしてすみませんでしたね。ちょいと今からお隣の県警に行ってこようとしてたところでした。どうもあちらさん話が通らないんで、直に襟首を掴んでゆすってやろうと思いましてね。
県警、高野の死体のことですか？
ねえ、周りは勝手に納得して高野の死体に間違いないって繰り返すんですが、それで直接行って見てこようと思います。死体が高野でないと分かれば話は一気に急展開しますからね。高野を重要参考人として手配できます。幸い向こうの柔道部とは交流がありますので、ちょいとみっちり話し込んできますよ。
It looked like Ueshi was proactively moving forward with the investigation. If that body is really Takano, alright, that would be sad for her, but it would give me reason to trust the mountain dogs. If that's not Takano, then it would tell me that she's part of this whole incident. No matter what the result is, it will give me some kind of hint. But only if I'm still alive. But really, it's unfortunate. Ueshi is leaving for Gifu. He can't be around to protect me.
大石、実は変な声の電話があったのです。知らない人でしたが、村人だと名乗りましたです。
匿名の電話ですか。続けてください。その電話は何と？
僕を殺そうとしている人たちがいる。早ければ今日にも決行すると言ってますです。
それは本当ですか。なるほど。それはありえない話じゃないな。わかりました。私はもう出発しなければなりませんのでいけませんが、駐在にも連絡してあなたの近辺を警戒するように伝えましょう。今日はご自宅ですよね。風邪か何かですか？家にいて戸締まりをしっかりしてください。すぐに警官を行かせます。
おいさん、どうしたんすか？先方との約束の時間ギリギリですよ。
今ね、フルでリカから電話がありました。匿名の電話があり、彼女の命を誰かが狙っているらしいと警告してきたらしいって言うんです。
フルでリカをですか？どうして？村のマスコットじゃなかったんですか？
連続開始事件絡みで私と接触してたことに対する警告じゃないかと見てます。
I'm really glad that Ueshi is so gullible.
本当に殺すかどうかは疑わしいが、彼女も年頃の子供です。命を狙われていると聞かされたら穏やかにはいられないでしょう。それにここで信頼を損ねると以後の関係にも支障をきたしますからね。 2、3人でいいです。大至急行かせてください。 あと駐在さんにも連絡して、とりあえず彼女を安心させてあげてください。
了解っす。
Rika Furude might have some kind of hint regarding the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Wish he couldn't let her die.
私たちも現地の別れずやどもを締め落としたら、すぐにひなみ沢へ行きましょう。ちょいとハードな出張スケジュールになりましたよ。
こんなの楽勝っす。
I like Kumagai. He's fun. He's a fun guy.
こちらひばり。
Skylark.
駐在警官が境内に入りました。
Oh, okay, one of the mountain dogs.
R 宅へ向かっています。
了解。引き続き監視されたし。
R と接触。警官を中に入れました。沖宮署に R から連絡があったようです。自身の身辺警護を依頼したと思われます。
うちらのことは喋ったんかいね。
命を狙われているとの匿名電話があったと言っています。作り話でしょう。またそれとは別に沖宮署から私服警官が数人派遣されるようです。
So how does this guy know pretty much what she's set up?
なんねん。山犬だけじゃ信用できんって国会ね。
厄介ですね。監視体制にも支障が出ます。
まさか気づいたんじゃねんかね。そんなわけはないとは思うが、全般に職質に注意しろと伝達。疑われたら意味ないんね。
了解。本部より全般、古出神社周辺に警察介入の動きあり、職質には特に注意されたし、今夜の決行ですが、様子を見た方がよろしいのでは。
Oh, tonight's mission, huh?
連絡はするが、三差はやるっちゅう言うだろうな。明朝に R の死亡が発覚して話が進むよう、もうお膳立てが済んどるって話だ。
Yeah, there we go.
警官に不審と思われとない。もし疑われたら、おとなしを引くこっちゃん。
I guess it was really a good idea for Rika to do what she just did. She was literally set to be murdered. Holy shit. Ueshi had called the officers pretty quickly. The officer who was in the area arrived within 10 minutes after I spoke with him. He asked me what kind of phone call I received today. I decided to make up a whole story. It'll all be over if they check my call history, but I'm sure Ueshi wouldn't or won't bother doing anything like that. He thinks I'm worth protecting, because I have information about the incidents in Hinamizawa. The policeman is one of the villagers, so I know him very well. More officers are coming here from the Okinomiya department. The officer told me to relax, because he'd stay with me until then. Ueshi must have thought I was frightened half to death after getting a threatening phone call. After about 30 minutes, 4 officers in plain clothes arrived at the shrine. The local officer returned to his police box.
状況は聞いています。神社周辺に我々が立ちますので、何かあったらすぐに呼んでください。あと、夕方になったら大石刑事がこっちに来ると言っていました。
I was relieved to learn that Ueshi would be coming here.
どうかよろしくお願いしますです。
必ず一人がここの下にいますので、すみませんが、その者にお手洗いだけは貸してもらってもよろしいですか？あと、緊急時用にその者に合鍵を預からせることはできますか？
どうぞです。おトイレも貸しますです。
My house is on the second floor of a storage building. The first floor contains emergency supplies for the village. I'm happy to know that at least one officer or one police officer will be there for me. The officers confirm their positions on the map of the shrine. One will be in the storage building and 2 more will walk around the shrine property. Also, 1 more officer will be standing in front of the stairs that lead to the shrine. This world's Ueshi is certainly reliable. In my other lives, Ueshi tended to look at me as his enemy. However, in this world, he thinks I'm on his side. I'm sure it's because we all became friendly with him around the time we saved Sudoko. It was unfortunate at the time, but perhaps the return of Sudoko's uncle was a necessary event. If Okanogi was right about Irie, he wouldn't be able to come near me within 20 mountain dogs and 4 police officers protecting me. If Okanogi is the bad guy, they'd be discouraged from acting by the presence of the police. Not too different from giving garlic to a vampire. This is the best protection I've had in 100 years. Even so, am I still going to be killed tonight? I need to do whatever I can. I should struggle as hard as possible. I won't give up. I won't even think about my next life. This is what enjoying life is all about. This is what living seriously is all about.
Hanyu? いる？
Okay, we'll end it there. seems like an okay spot. Oh man, things sure are ramping up, aren't they? Man, it's been an actual week since I last recorded. Holy shit. Yeah, again, just trying to avoid computer issues, but computer issues just like to stick with me, so they're still around, which is really unfortunate. But hopefully that all gets resolved so we can finally get through this fucking chapter and then get through the next one. Thank you all for watching this episode. What a simple episode, but also it's setting up things. It's setting up all the pieces on the board for what I will assume will be coming up to the actual climax of this chapter. I know that we've had a whole bunch of other wild, wacky bullshit that went down earlier on, but this is where things are really going to get serious. We're finally back on the plot line. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can really only hope for a resolution of some sort, truly. And more information, of course, because this is getting a little political, maybe? I mean, she even brought it up with factions, and I think she's on the right page. They didn't really explain it too much. I mean, they've only been giving us like the gist of things from the other perspectives in this in this chapter, which is fine. It gives you an idea, but clear-cut answers and information would be fine. You know, just throwing that out there, game. Maybe we'll get all that in the rest of this chapter in chapter 8. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and we'll see what goes on next time with like 30 people on the site trying to quote-unquote protect us. I'll see you guys then. Take it easy.